shiver, but not cold enough to
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. Today we are going to be doing a list of books that I want to prioritise come 2023. So initially I was going to do the 23 books for 2023, the same I did 22 books for 2022. However, I do have my 12 books, 12 prompts, and my self-destruct list that should be coming before this, I think. So I don't want to add like another list to that. There's like a really long list, which means I have to add at least another extra 2 books onto my TBR each month, when next year I'm trying to work with a shorter TBR. So these are just a few books that have been on my shelves for a while that I want to get to, or the series I'm really excited about. First one is Blood of an Exile. This is the first book in the Dragons of Terror series. This is a series that I own in its entirety. Like, I own the trilogy, and I've just not opened it, not looked at it. Like, I was sent the third book by Black Crow PR, and then I realised it was the third book once I'd said, oh yeah, I'd like to review that, and then bought the other 2 so I could read them as a trilogy, and then haven't picked them up. So the six books that I'm going to be making a list of, and as soon as the prompts come up and sort of can fit the kind of book that is on this list, I'm going to make it a priority to read these. This is the thought process. So ideally I would like to finish the full trilogy next year, but I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. I want to at least get book 1 done. You've probably seen this. I'm filming this early, so this is weird, me talking about last month being November. I have also put this on my intimidating books list because it's thick. It's sci-fi, but it's a kind of sci-fi that is quite in depth, and it's intimidating, but I'm still very interested in it. I've never read anything like this before that's like sort of like a base type thing. This follows a woman called Kira, who is on like an expedition, and her and her team find an alien life form thing that turns out not to be as great as she'd hoped when she originally found it. I read the first 84 pages of this and put it down, but I am also wanting to read Aragon and the Inherent Cycle series next year. Hopefully as part of It's All About Fantasy, if it gets voted for the next round after the Greenbaum saga. So if I can get all of my Christopher Paolini books read next year, that will be a bonus, but I'm not going to push it. But this is a priority. This is on the top of the list. Next up we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is the stunning sprayed edged edition from Waterstones. Was it the Waterstones one? I can't remember. I read Cerulean Sea and adored it. I know this is a very different vibe to Cerulean Sea, but I also want to read The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune, and I'm starting Wolfsong in December. So I've just realised with quite a few TJ Klune books I'm going to end up reading this year, hopefully. The writing in Cerulean Sea was just great, so I've got high hopes. Next we have Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Cole. This is also on my intimidating books list, but I've had both books for a while now. I don't know if this is just a duology or if it's a series, but so far I've just got the first 2 books, and I'm really looking forward to getting into this series or duology, whatever it's going to be, because I've got swept up in the hype of like pre-orders and like new releases, and I've been very stuck in my old ways, like with the YA, reading YA and things like that, that I've sort of picked up all these books thinking, yeah, they're great, I'm interested, and then just like falling for the hype train and just going with all the new releases, which I'm going to stop doing as much in 2023. So it means I can get to these books that are on my shelf that as soon as I read the synopsis of this again, I'm like, yes, that sounds interesting, that sounds great, I want to read that, and then I do. And finally, I'm holding up this book because I don't have the rest of the series yet, but Darkness and Dusk, oh fucking hell, I had the title in my head like 2 minutes ago and it's gone. I'll put the second book in the series up here. I want to get to the second book in this series because the third book is already out. Ideally I would have wanted to get to all 3 this year, but it just hasn't happened money wise, because I'm getting these in hardback. This is the Unexplored Chronicles by D.W. Ross, and it starts with Call from the North, and it follows a guy called Ogul who has to evacuate his village because they're being invaded, and he's trying to save as many citizens as possible before they all get killed. And there's a prophecy attached to this, and I don't want to give too much away. If you like high fantasy, if you like a character driven book, this is one for you. And I'm hoping that I can bring you a review of the second book at some point in 2023, because I need to read it. And then the final one, I don't have a physical copy yet because it's not out, but it's A War and Ruin by Ryan Cahill. I can't not have this in my life. I'm going to be reading The Exile, which is the novella that comes before A War and Ruin, in December, so I could be ready and prepped for when I get a chance in January. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be an early 2023 read and I can just smash through that book. I know that I mentioned in a previous video about The Chorus of Dragons being like a 5-book series and hard to keep track and things like that. And that's true, but the way that Ryan Cahill's done it, which is like a novella, 2 novels, a novella and a novel, this series doesn't feel like it's too much. It is overwhelming, which I'm loving. And I think there's 6 books in this series, so there's still one after War and Ruin. But anyway, that's another thing for another day. Whenever he decides to announce the next book, but it's not even out. War and Ruin isn't out yet. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But those are the books that I want to get to in 2023. I've done quite a few of these videos now. So next year I'm going to react to this, and y'all can see whether or not these books even got touched. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this festive season. If you like me and you want to see more from me, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. My channel has become very stagnant recently, so next year I am going to try and shake things up a bit and do a few things differently on my channel. Not sure what that is yet. Plans are in place for that, but we'll just see. We'll see what works. But any likes, comments, shares, subscribes always help. And if you don't have anything to say but you want to comment and show your love, then a black heart is very much appreciated. Down below for next year I am going to be reading books recommended by people who watch me. So there's a form down below and it will be in every single video, and you can recommend books for me to read. I'll be doing dedicated reviews that I'll be posting on my channel for every single book that is recommended. Hopefully I can get some next year and I can work them into my TBR game. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the festive season. Much love. Bye.
Cold enough to make you shiver, but not cold enough